Greetings, YouTube. Today I'm going to talk about the classic play Book of the Plains from Mongoose Publishing. I'd actually been thinking of getting some of the classic books, and I stumbled upon this volume, and I honestly have no memory of where I found this book or how much I paid for it. Though I've discovered that Amazon has copies of this used for $4 at the moment. A number of the classic books from this line are available relatively cheaply, and I'm probably going to start trying to pick some of them up over the in the near future. Though at the moment my backlog of our role-playing game books is fairly extensive, and I haven't even started to print out some of the stuff that I got from the um, donation I made to Drive Through RPG. I mean, it was 4 gigs of stuff I have to go look through to see what I want to print out. So I may be reading stuff like that for a while. And what this is essentially Mongoose's version of the Manual of the Plains, the official Wizards of the Coast book. And the first 50 pages of this are a breakdown of the traits that each different plane of existence can have. And I'm going to illustrate what that looks like in a little chart here. Now, this is the astral plane. You notice this little chart right here. Now, what that little chart breaks down to is just going to make my life easier if I just use this as a reference. They break it down into individual traits. For example, gravity, time, size, morphic, life, weather, water, fire, earth, air, negative, positive, good, evil, law, chaos, arcane, divine, green, any particular quirks, accessibility, and proximity. Now, some of these ratings have a range of 1 to 20, or 0 to 20 rather, and some of them have a it's 1 to 20, and some have an axis, which is -10 to +10. So, for example, if your plane has a fire-water axis of 0, that means dead on it is normal. It is the balance between fire and water you find here in our world, or a base prime material plane. If it is +10 in the direction of water, then it is a plane of nothing but water. It's 100% water, and there's nothing else there. And if it's the other direction, -10, it's going to be nothing but fire. Now, I like the way this breaks down, and it makes a nice, convenient thumbnail of a plane. You can just really quickly look at it. I'm going to go poke onto another plane here, and I can go tell you. All right, for example, we have the plane of shadows here. Gravity is normal. Time is normal. Size is listed as 18, which is infinite, just like your standard prime material plane. Morphic was rating a 13, and that's magical. It means it can change rather easily. It's got a fairly high morphic level. Life, it's got a rating of 2 towards the death end of the scale, and that means it's a dead plane. It just isn't much life there. Weather is normal, as is fire, water, earth, air axes. Negative, positive. It is -4 because it's a bastion of undeath. Good, evil. It is balanced towards. It's got a evil. Law, chaos is 0, so it's completely normal. But they rank that as mildly neutral. Arcane is considered normal magic there. However, shadow magic is maximized. Anything cast in that on that plane of shadow, if it's a shadow-based spell, it's going to have all kinds of bonuses. But fire and light magic are all severely limited. It's called impeded. 3rd level spells only, so you can't go above a 3rd level spell on this plane because the power simply is not available to fuel it. Green, it's a -1, which is hostile to the life, the natural life. Accessibility ranks as a 13, which means you're only accessible through magic of some variety. And as it goes down, it gets easier to get the plane. It goes up, it gets harder. So at the highest levels, you could only say get it through a specifically physically built gate. And if it's at the highest level, you may only be able to get it through to it in one gate. There may be no other means of getting to a plane of existence. And it says proximity, for example, to the material plane, it coexists with the material plane. Astral, conterminous, so you can access it. Negative, it's partially merged with the negative plane. And the dream, plane of dreams, occasional intersection, which kind of makes sense if you're on a plane of shadows. And after the first 50 pages, you get into the basic listing of the planes themselves. The ethereal plane, astral plane, plane of shadows, plane of dreams, the four elemental planes, planes of positive and negative energy, the vault of stars, which is all about the very essence of that mystery of the heavens. And we have some specific ones like Infernum, which is their version of hell. The Halls of Order, which is all about an ordered, very strongly law-based plane of existence. The Afterworld, very generic, but obviously anybody could just rename that. Is what they say so choose. The Questing Grounds, again, another kind of afterlife plane of existence. What else do we got here? A single castle, because again, the size of these planes can vary from place to place. They can be as small as this room I'm in to infinite infinities. And then we have a chapter which is about plane crafting. And I kind of like the way they did this. This is all about how to craft your own planes of existence, because the size of a plane can vary greatly. And one of the things they've done with this book is introduce the concept of planar infusions. So you go to, say, the elemental plane of water, you create an infusion of that elemental essence. You take it with you. You can then implant it in another plane of existence, and it will then begin to permeate that plane of existence, shifting that plane of existence's axis toward the water a little bit further. And depending on how powerful an infusion it is, will depend on how much it has shifted in the direction of the infusion. A really powerful one can make a major shift. A minor one, of course, is going to be very small. And there's also, if the larger the infusion is, there's the possibility of having other kind of quirks attached to it, because you're really dealing with some powerful magical ideas. Now, I like this because it allows you to create your own planes of existence. That's cool. But I also like the idea that this is a great hook for planar invasion. So say you're on a prime material plane, some powerful spellcaster shows up and puts an infusion of undeath somewhere. And boom, that spot now shifts to undeath and it slowly begins to spread out. That is an awesome way to explain how an invasion of one plane by another plane takes place. Now, obviously, there are powers in many planes who aren't going to take lightly to having the very structure of their plane of existence altered. So, you are probably going to get some resistance if it's a plane that's under someone's command. But there are lots of planes out there, potentially an infinite number of them. So it wouldn't be that difficult to find a plane which is near unoccupied and then modify it to your choosing. They also touch on the whole concept of where do bags of holding, portable holes, secret chest spells, where do they dump their stuff, the different aspects of the concept of the gate. You contact other plane, you're asking a question, you can actually see a little sphere floating through the air, and that sphere is someone casting a contact other plane spell in an attempt to speak to a really intelligent or powerful being to get advice. And if you, the player character, are high enough level to have enough stats or enough power, you can get pulled into one of these spells. And essentially, you can be cold called by the very structure of the universe, which I thought was pretty funny. But this is definitely well worth it. I mean, for used copy for $4, I think they had new copies for like 6 or 7. This is definitely worth it in my book, and I'm going to see about hunting down some of the other of the classic playbooks and see how they look as well, because I think Mongoose did an excellent job with this. I'm almost always impressed with Mongoose's work. I can't think of many times that I haven't been. And this is another job well done.